there's part of me that, since I came from kind of the valley and the orchards, part of my inspiration was digging in the dirt. I mean, I just as a kid,
and making things.
And of course, forts out of bins and boxes, and I was crazy, but I had this wide openness, and the tree was my friend, and the dirt was part of that building material for me. We would dig underground forts. I mean, anything that had to do with a way of building something, since I was very small, I did. I came out of high school, and I was so anxious to get to work. I went out to work from high school as a carpenter, and I went to work for some. I just wanted to. It wasn't about design then for me. It was about learning the craft, learning how to put things together. In construction terms, this is a steel embed. So what we did with a house like this, created a grid at 7'6", and the grid moves through the house. These are placed in the concrete, and then we have steel tubes that are welded to this plate, and then, extruded up and over. This was a test. What we had to do to do non-proprietorial work, because this is not in the building code, is we had to have this tested. We had to have this approved by the state of California. So that's, the essence of my practice came from both schooling, but first step for me was to learn the trade of construction. My aspiration was to become a licensed architect. I'm a licensed general contractor, but I said no. I want to be an architect. So, it was a great experience. Stayed there. I was in Switzerland for about almost a year. Studied with, like Peter Zumthor is one of the best. I think, and interestingly enough, he also learned from his father as a cabinet builder. He started, in that trade. And you can see some of the beautiful buildings he's done. The churches, I went crazy with his details. So, and then concrete came along for me, just, exploring concrete. I just started exploring concrete in my backyard.
And you've continued to do that.
I have. There's always an element. The house is on Everett.
Right.
There's always an element for me, cantilevered. Right. Entry portico, or some concrete element.
Joe, if you would please tell us about your path to becoming an architect and what it means to you to be the 2014 winner of the chapter's highest award to a local individual, the Burge Clark Award.
It's an honor. It's really surprising, but I'm honored. My people working with me are honored, and I think I wouldn't be here without the people that work with me. That's for sure.